Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Silt, Colorado. Just maybe 30 minutes west of Glenwood Springs, Colorado. And we thought we'd take this morning, this is our last morning here at the KOA in Silt, to just describe our journey so far and some of the things we've done, just share some of our experiences.
Yeah.
So let's just start with the drive. Tina, tell me, was it a long drive or was it average?
It was a long drive.
It was a long
Always
drive.
a long drive.
So we are out of the Louisville, Kentucky area, to give you a reference. And just by the numbers, it's like, what, 20 hours, probably by car. Well, it's at least 24
Pulling an RV.
Pulling an RV. Mm-hmm. And so we always plan a stopover, and right about the midway point is Junction City, Kansas. And we stayed at the Smoky Hills RV Park, which is right off I-70 in Junction City. And that's been a great place. We've been there twice now.
It's a nice little park. It has a nice little dog walk area where you can walk your pups.
Yep.
Safe location.
And they have, the front of the park has pull through. So we just reserve a pull through. We don't even unhitch. We just pull through. It was pretty level. Actually, it was perfectly level. It was really good. And we just get a good night's rest. So we left, what, 6 a.m.? I think the time we actually pulled out of the driveway.
Yep.
And we got to Junction City about 5-ish. And
So about almost 12 hours.
yeah, it was about a 12-hour drive. Long drives. Man, those are long drives. But, that's my absolute, 12 hours is my absolute max. Almost. So, day two, we get up from Kansas City. Get up in Kansas, and we drive to here, which is Silt, Colorado. But we had one little stopover. Tina, would you like to tell us about that stopover?
Well, I was reading that there was an all automated McDonald's in what city
In Denver.
In Denver, Colorado. So David was so kind to plan this stop for me. And we get there and it's like, oh, it was not all automated. It was, you put your order in and you go to the drive-thru and pick it up, or you go inside and pick it up. So a little disappointing because we did have to go out of our way just a little bit to get there. And
about an hour.
So that added to the drive a little.
So day two was 13 hours.
Yeah.
But it was okay because I wanted to see this as well. I mean, that would have been really cool to see, right?
But it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. But that's okay. So we got here about 6:30, 7 o'clock that evening.
And what's the name of this RV park?
This is the KOA Holiday in Silt, Colorado.
And as you can tell by our view, it's
got the Colorado River
right behind us. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is Road W. I guess they're Road W.
Yeah.
But they back right up to the river. So a beautiful site. It's a bigger park than the last KOA we went to. And so that last KOA, we'll put a link to that review. But there's no way we're going to be able to do a walkthrough.
No, we did a partial walk. Yeah. It's a nice park. It has it's very family oriented. It has a splash park for the kids. It has a swimming pool. It has a hot tub. And a little disappointing, they didn't have any campfire wood.
There's a big sign on the front door. Sorry, no firewood. So that's okay. We weren't really here that much.
No, we weren't. We were quite busy this trip.
This has been a busy trip. So let's talk about, we talked about the drive, getting here, the disappointment of the McDonald's. So if you're not familiar with the whole McDonald's thing, there's a handful of McDonald's that are supposed to be fully automated. And I don't know what that actually means other than you place your order, I guess the hamburgers are fried by a robot, maybe, I don't know. And then it's served to you through a robotic tray or through a robotic, what I'm not sure what you'd call it.
Handout,
something like that. Yeah. We were hoping to see that, but it wasn't that. So, so we had a couple things planned on this trip. Two major things we wanted to do. well, I guess really 3. The first one was we went whitewater rafting, and we'll go a little bit later on in the video. We'll tell you about the other things, but let's talk about the whitewater rafting trip.
I was a little nervous.
We have never done it before at all. I mean,
Yes.
we've canoed in a little river in southern Indiana called Blue River, where this would be extreme on Blue River, but
And we floated on a lazy river. before,
yeah.
But nothing compared to what we were doing on Monday.
right. So we got a trip. It's called a float through Defiance Rafting, and it was a 2-hour
Yeah.
float, they call it, with Class 1 and Class 2 rapids. And so Tina was a little nervous about it.
Very nervous.
Yeah, she's not much of a swimmer and doesn't like deep waters and
Let's
stuff
just
like
say
that.
I said a prayer that morning. Please do not let me flip out of the boat, and please do not let the boat
And of
tip
course,
over.
yeah, and of course, what do the guides have to talk about? All the things that are going to kill you. The strainer, right? I never heard that term before. Strainers, right? Things in the river that look like a strainer. The whole raft getting turned over. You know, if you go under the raft, what do you have to do to get out of that? If you get thrown out, how to position your body so you don't get, trapped. So all those things. And I'm seeing her over there, and she's like, oh gosh.
Sweating.
Yeah. So we've got some video of that, and we'll show you that. But it was fun though, right?
It was a really fun trip. It was nice. It was fun.
It was fun.
Woo-hoo,
Yeah.
woo-hoo, woo-hoo.
I told her, I said, now listen, I don't want to hear any like woo, and I think I heard 1 or 2. So,
Yeah.
but so we got lucky they named the rapids or the areas of the river, and towards the end of this trip, the guide was like, okay, we're approaching the dinosaur. And he was explaining off to the side there was a dinosaur fossils found, bones found in that area, and so they named this little area the dinosaur, and it was a class
3 rapids.
yeah, because the water's up, so the rapids were class 3, so it's like a bonus.
Yeah. It was
fun.
It was scary, but it was really fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the Defiance Rafting, oh man, they're super nice guys and funny. Their website's hilarious.
Yeah.
You can go there
Highly
and read
recommend it if you're ever
Yeah.
in the area to definitely.
They give you like booties,
Wetsuits.
if you want to wear that, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, water was cold, and
Yeah,
it started
was cold
raining.
and we got wet. And
Yeah, they guarantee you get wet. Now, there's a little kid and there's a family with us, and you'll probably see him popping in the videos, but he only had like a t-shirt on, I think, and shorts. So I saw him, and he was like,
he wanted to be up front so bad, and he braved it out and had his little video camera going.
Yeah.
His little, he was enjoying himself. You'll see a lot of him in our video.
Yeah, right. So that was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed that trip down the Colorado River. And would you do it again?
Yeah. And now every time we've driven by this last couple of days, it's like, woohoo, we were down there.
So this is in Glenwood Canyon. So the sights from that are beautiful because you're on the river, but you're looking up through, and seeing all the canyon. Saw a couple bald eagles and
a mountain goat.
So Tina got to check the mountain goat off her bucket list. So the second thing that we wanted to see, or at least I wanted to see, I think you were okay with it too, we wanted to go visit Doc Holliday's gravesite, which is in Glenwood Springs, and that was kind of cool. It's a little bit of a hike, maybe a quarter mile.
Yeah, not far.
It's not far, but it's steep.
Take a little water with you.
Take some water. But there's a big cemetery on the top of this, or the side of this mountain, if you will, and Doc Holliday is buried somewhere there.
Yes.
So this is a marker. I guess it's been there forever though.
Yeah.
But the tombstone, I mean, there's like, well, you'll see pictures of it, but there's like coins, there's cards, playing cards. The history of Doc Holliday was he died of tuberculosis?
Yeah.
I think he had tuberculosis.
Yes.
And he wanted to move to this area for the better oxygen.
Yes.
Well,
He was a dentist.
He was a dentist,
He was a dentist surgeon, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he was supposed to die in a gunfight. He was to be in a gunfight, and he was for sure he would die in a gunfight. But he wound up dying in the hospital of tuberculosis, and his, I think his last 3 words were, "This is funny."
Yeah, let's look that up because I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is funny.
And to be honest, my only history with Doc Holliday is from the movie Wyatt Earp. I'd never really liked Westerns until I watched Wyatt Earp. Mm-hmm. And then I started watching, was it Tombstone? Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh man, the history there is just amazing. But yeah, so Doc Holliday was cool to see. And there was another one.
Kid Curry?
Yeah, Kid Curry. And we got some snippets of that. You can go look at the pictures. But he was like a bandit or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a bank robber, famous bank robber or something like that. The story is pretty interesting. But you can tell it's an old grave site. And actually, it looked like there were some, not newer graves, but I mean like 1990s tombstones up there. Anyway, that was really fun. And then the third thing that we wanted to go see, or do, I should say, was the hot springs, the mineral hot springs in Glenwood Springs. And so I promised Tina that we would do that and spend a relaxing
afternoon. Yeah.
So we went downtown Glenwood and kind of checked out some of the restaurants and the novelty stores, and then went over to the Iron Mountain hot springs. And it's like a spa. So you check in, they give you some tokens so you can get some fresh towels, and you get a little wristband, and you put it up to the locker, and you get your little locker, you put all your goodies in there.
And
go out and get your
adult.
Yeah, you get your, if you're an adult,
you get a wristband, so you
get a
can
wristband,
buy
so you
your
get,
little adult beverages.
Go get you a beer or a mixed drink.
Yeah.
And around the area, there's these little pools. Okay, they're all kind of sectioned off, and there's a major pool or a main pool that is more like family. It's like a swimming pool, and the water there is just warm. I just call it warm.
Yeah.
But the other pools, when you go look, you'll see these little numbers on these placards, and that is the current temperature of that pool. So I guess they vary. We actually saw a guy come around, and we were in the 108 degree pool. And he took a thermometer, and he took the little 108 and put a 106, I think, on it. And so, I was like, oh, daggone it.
But it was nice.
Yeah.
That 108 made your body feel,
yeah, so
in it, it's like, oh, it feels so good.
Right, I had to get out and go to the restroom, and walking up to the restroom, I'm like, whoo.
Yeah.
It was like, I could see how somebody sat in there too long could get, maybe, pass out.
Well, and I think one of the best parts too is when you're there, you're overlooking the Colorado River. So you're hearing the river flowing, and you're sitting in those hot tubs, and it's just so relaxing. At one point, you're like, oh, I could just take a nap in here.
Yeah.
It's so nice, the water is. So.
Yeah, so that's been a lot of fun. We've really enjoyed Glenwood Springs, and we've driven through here at least, well, this may be our third trip. This is our third trip to Root Eye Reservoir, so where we're heading to with the RV. But we've never stopped in Glenwood Springs. So there's a lot of things to do. There is a amusement park.
Yeah,
up
on the hill.
Yeah, up on top on the mountains. You take what's those things called? A gondola?
A cart. I don't know.
One of those.
The lift.
Yeah, like a lift to the top. And one of the things, backing up a little bit to the rafting trip, the guide, he was pointing out some of the things on that side of that mountain. And near the park, we'll call it like an amusement park, down below that was a $3 million mansion built into the side of the mountain, like partially built into a cave. And
they had an observatory.
Yeah, that was kind of cool to see. He pointed out the mountain goat. Bald eagles, we saw the bald eagles.
But we'll give a shout out to Jacob and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
They have a Instagram account called the Basil Bus. Basil Bus, B-U-S.
We'll put a
the
link
Basil
in.
Bus.
We'll put a link.
And they took a school bus and they completely gutted it and painted it white and turned it into a camper bus. And it's really neat.
Yeah.
So if you get an opportunity, definitely go on there and check out the Basil Bus. It's on Instagram.
Yeah, it looked really cool. And he was a cool guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
What else, Tina, as we kind of wrap up this stay here in the Glenwood Springs area?
I think just sitting out here in the evening, we sat out here last night. We started a little fire, and we haven't seen a whole lot of stars because it's been kind of cloudy. But last night it opened up some, and you could see the constellations. And just sitting out here next to the river, and it was just a really relaxing evening.
It was.
And then this morning when we woke up, we came out early to see the sunrise, and well, we missed the sunrise part of it, but we did see it. It was early when we got up, and we sat outside and had our coffee by the river, and it was a nice morning to sit out. And then we saw a couple of bald eagles, and then and there was a deer. Right across the river walking, and just the relaxation of being here. And
so if you had to change anything on this trip so far, would you have changed anything?
No, I've really enjoyed the trip.
Yeah.
So
I guess my only thing that I wouldn't even say change, but I would add an extra day. I like to at some point just kind of stay at the park, just if anything, just to relax, right? Because we have been busy. We've been busy.
Yeah.
So that I would just add an extra day. But the KOA has been just super.
Yeah.
We did laundry yesterday.
Yeah, they have a nice laundry area. They have a nice dog park.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of dog park, we were out taking the dogs for a walk, Annie and Denver, and they met two other little doxy friends.
You know what? Let's just play that clip right here.
Missouri, Arkansas.
Fine, I'm gonna get.
So tell us about how you rescued Sadie.
Okay, this is Sadie right here.
Yeah.
And we got her almost 2 years ago from Low Rider Rescue in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And she was 22 pounds when we got her.
Oh, wow.
And so she's lost 5 pounds. And so we've been taking really good care of her. She had to be completely shaved because she was very, very matted.
Right.
And she was an owner's surrender. Her daddy couldn't keep her anymore because he had to go back to work after the COVID.
Yeah.
And so her mommy had died 3 years earlier. So she is a sweetie pie. She's a really good little therapy girl. And she's a sweet baby.
And you said she likes to be held.
She loves being a lap toy.
Oh, boy. And then, if you didn't know any better, you'd say this is Denver's brother.
This is Abbott.
And this is Abbott.
And what about Abbott? He's 15?
12.
12.
He's 12, yes. He
Yeah.
also came from, he was a surrender from our niece. Our niece got busy having kids.
Oh, yeah.
So they said no more dogs, so we took over the dog.
He came to live with us.
Yes. And he's loved it ever since.
He's a
So,
sweet pie.
you know, get around, get away from the 2-year-olds, 3-years-olds.
Oh, boy.
So,
Yeah.
life is much more calm.
So sweet.
And he's
And these
never
two
been in a crate again.
lay over each other all the time.
We have a big pen that we keep them in the rug and everything, so they're not. So look at them all.
It's the Dempsey alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, doggies, now stop.
They sound alike.
They do. Well, guys, it was great meeting you all.
Great meeting you, David.
Yeah, and David.
How
Sherry.
long are you here still?
We leave tomorrow morning.
All right. Well, good
Yeah.
to meet you. Y'all have
We
safe
got one more
travel.
night, so.
I'll get on your website.
You got your Dotsie earrings too.
Thank you.
Where you guys from?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Near Tulsa.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, but Low Rider Rescues in Oklahoma, and so that's where we got Sadie from.
All right.
It was so nice meeting you
Nice
guys.
meeting
you. Yeah.
Nice meeting you
Y'all
as
be
well.
Nice meeting you.
safe on the road.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Abbott was, he looked exactly like Denver,
Yeah.
almost the same size. It was so cute. They're both the little blondies.
Yep.
And then there was Sadie. She was a little redheaded girl.
She was a rescue.
She was a rescue, and oh, she was just so sweet.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of fun to run into, make new friends. So and as a matter of fact, this morning I took the pups for a walk as Tina was preparing, because we gotta get ready to go here shortly, and ran into them again, and we chit-chatted again with the pups. and Dave and Sherry.
Well,
Anyway,
another thing, you know, about the camping community, we've had a neighbor who's had a flat tire the last couple of days, and he's looked at it, trying to figure out, you know, what to do with it. Somebody came over to try to help him, and then last night, several of the guys from the campground came over and, you know, did everything they brought their tools, they brought everything they could, and they got the little guy's tire changed. And
I'm going to elaborate on that just a little bit,
okay.
because I try to carry all the necessary tools that I think I will need and hope I never have to use. What they were trying to work with, the tools that they had were just not sufficient. I mean, we're talking about like, you know, a wrench that long. There's no way to get torque on that. And so I had to break out my tools, which is fine. I'm very thankful that I had everything they needed to get that tire off. Mm-hmm. But they had no jack, they had no way to get the bolts or the nuts off of the wheels. And so luckily, even my impact wrench didn't break them loose.
No.
So I had to break out the strong arm, or, you know, what do they call those, the breaker bars, to get those things loose.
There were multiple people that came from the camping community here in the park that came over and helped out and got the tire changed, and so he could have a safe ride back to where he was going.
And you know, and I talked to him and his wife a little bit later, you know, and he had just had back surgery like 6 months ago, so he was unable to do that. His nephew was the other guy that was there. But, you know, just basically, I guess what I'm getting at is make sure you bring the tools that you think you might need and hope you never have to use.
Yeah.
You know, I get teased a lot about all the stuff I carry. You know, the 2 spares. Our friend Keith is always teasing me about, you don't need all that stuff.
All that extra, but
and
it come in
speaking
handy.
of, yeah, it does. And speaking of our friend, he asked us to record what it's like to go up and through the Eisenhower Tunnel, because some people may not go that route because they're maybe not sure of if they're capable of doing it. So we did record that, and I might make a little spin-off video for that, just so it's not taking up too much time in this video.
Right. All in all, I think it's been a good trip, a great trip.
Yeah.
We've had a really good time, and I highly recommend Glenwood
Springs.
And
I would recommend the KOA here at Silt.
we've had some geese come over to visit.
Yeah. Oh,
So.
Let's talk about where we almost went.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah. So I'm following my RV Trip Wizard map, and I guess I was following the map, where it said to go. Well, I was, and passed the KOA, and went into, and I'll play some clip of that right here from the dash cam. But let's just say that we were a little bit nervous, and you'll hear us talking to one of the guys there.
I'm like, this isn't what you said it was going to be.
I'm like, yeah, this is. So we were a little concerned about where we were, and I guess the best way I can describe it would be to reference something like this.
I'm asking you how much you got.
You're out of your mind. Look, I don't have time to play around, okay? So how much is it?
All of it, boy.
So, you know, and then the guy we talked to, I think he was trying to explain that he would come back and guide us around the I guess it's an RV park. It looked like people actually lived there.
I think it was a place people lived,
And we found out we got here. So just be mindful if you're coming here. And again, I'm not sure if it's an RV Trip Wizard map issue.
Yeah,
or
they just
what.
sent us in the wrong place.
It just
all.
We drove right past it. Matter of fact, the park is right behind what is now a fuel station. So note that as well. You can get diesel fuel, and it's set up for RVs. So you can get diesel fuel, gasoline, DEF, all the good stuff. All right, I think we should wrap this up and finish packing up. And we are heading to Basil, Colorado,
Next
to Red Reservoir.
To fly fish.
Do some more fly fishing. So, gosh, I hope you don't outcatch me again. Last time,
all the girls caught fish, and you know.
Yeah, I caught like 2. So, all right, Hey, thanks for staying with us, and we'll catch you soon.
All right, thanks. Bye now.
Bye.